Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Tonight is Warcraft Monday, and I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by James Anderson. It's called Warcraft's Mightiest Hunter, made by Platinum WoW. If you want to check out my previous reactions to other Warcraft content on the Warcraft Monday playlist, remember the playlist card is going to be at the top. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. If you want to check out the original video as well as Platinum WoW's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, is that a Draenei? Oh gosh.
Let the hunt begin.
Rexxar. Okay. Is that an ogre?
A good kill. Now then, time to carve a trophy. I was born on Draenor. As war broke out around us, my people, the Machnathal, remained peaceful and unprepared.
The war on Draenor had destroyed the resources on this now dying world. The Machnathal, a once enslaved clan of half-ogres, half-orcs, were led by Leorox, father of Rexxar, who insisted that the clan remain quiet pacifists in these conflicts.
Oh wow, okay. Alright. I didn't know that, Rexxar came from a clan. I've only known about him in Warcraft 3 Reforged. That's the only time when I've actually known about that guy. But I didn't know that he also lived on Draenor, and he had his own clan, and his father was an orc. Huh, alright.
Yet, with each passing day, the hunt for resources became even more scarce. Rexxar strongly believed that they'd need to join the Horde in order to survive, despite the protests of his father.
Yeah, I don't know if the orcs will accept you guys. They're not really... I don't know if they really like, people who are half this and half that. I don't know. Yeah.
The Horde is mighty. They could crush us at any moment. Just like they crushed the Draenei. Not if we are quiet. The land sustains us. The beasts answer us. The mountains hide us. That is protection enough. What more do you want? The rise of the Horde changes everything. We must take a side. We are half ogre, half orc. Outsiders will never accept us. Our clan is too small. Our allies too few. I have proved my point. You have proved you do not belong here. Leave me. That does it.
Oh, it looks like they were close to, throwing fists at each other. Oh.
I fear you are going down a dark path, my son.
I think both of them are correct. What Rexxar is saying, that, they have to join the Horde, and what his father is saying, we don't have to join the Horde, we can just stay within our community, within our environment, and that's how we'll be kept safe. I understand what the father is also trying to say, but yeah, it's a hard decision. That's all I can say. It's a really hard decision.
Thanks. I was banished from my only home. Unable to convince my clan to act, would have to confront the Horde by myself.
The Horde's current leader was the war chief named Blackhand. He was a fierce leader, and his clan had gained a reputation for their strict military discipline. Blackhand rose to power with the help from a powerful warlock named Gul'dan.
My guy.
Look, also, there are two different versions of Blackhand. The main universe one, which doesn't have a unique model, and the alternate universe one. For this video, I'm going to be using the alternate universe one for no other reason other than it's badass. Look, point is, Blackhand was now the leader of the Horde and is currently wiping out any and all ogres in Gorgrond, with his sights on the Mok'Nathal next.
War Chief Blackhand, may I have a word?
You are one of the Mok'Nathal, aren't you?
Yes, it is on their behalf I come to you.
You're a...
How can someone who is banished be representing the clan on their behalf? It doesn't work that way, Rexxar, but I understand you. I understand what's going on. Don't worry.
only a half-orc, unworthy of my attention. I could destroy your clan in a heartbeat.
You must spare them.
Ha! All's fair in war, boy. The orcs have sacrificed much.
I know you have, but my people could not endure that.
Power is the only law that all must obey.
Makora. That's the only way. Makora.
Defeat me, and I'll consider your request.
Exactly.
Then we fight.
For the Horde! You are weak! That's all you can muster?
If only your wisdom were as great as your temper. Always aim for the face.
Cease this! You've persuaded me. You fight well for your kind. I have need of champions like you. But in return, you must serve the Horde.
I swear it.
Okay, so it wasn't a Makora then. It wasn't like a battle to the death. Okay, alright. Or maybe because, you know, Rexxar wasn't part of the Horde, so he couldn't really initiate that right. Yeah.
And so, Rexxar joined the Horde and charged into the Dark Portal, where the orcs would claim the resources they'd need to survive in the new world of Azeroth. During the First War, the orcs dominated the battle and pushed all the way up north and destroyed the city of Stormwind. This marked the end of the First War. During the Second War, they continued to push up into the Eastern Kingdoms, even though they had pretty much everything they would need to survive, and this was when Rexxar began to realize the truth behind the Horde. It was a faction ran by bloodlust, controlled from a secret cabal of warlocks, and no care for the prosperity of their people.
You guys were simply a proxy of the Burning Legion. You were tools to be used, and once Azeroth was, you know, under your firm control, the Burning Legion would come in, swoop in, take over the planet, and you guys would have also been destroyed. Yeah. So essentially you guys are just tools.
This would be further evident when Gul'dan totally abandoned the Horde for his own pursuit for power, and the unification of human and elven kingdoms pushed the orcs all the way down back to the Dark Portal. Our story then continues in the book Beyond the Dark Portal, where Rexxar would face the deceit of the Horde firsthand when defending the portal from the Alliance. During the battle, an injured warlock attempted to drain the life from Rexxar, telling him that he was not a true orc, and undeserving of having a place in the Horde. I will now quote the book directly.
Does it hurt? Do not worry. Soon the pain will be gone.
He raised his hand, slowly, deliberately drawing the moment out, and Rexxar stared as the green-limed flesh inched closer. Already, he thought he could feel his energy being drawn from him, and a wave of fatigue washed over him.
This reminds me of what happened to, what was his name again? Duratug, yes. During the not World of Warcraft, but yeah, Warcraft movie, yes, during the Warcraft movie. How his life force was sucked out of him by Gul'dan. Yeah, that was not a pretty sight.
A fierce snarl cut through the haze of torment, and a large black blur slammed into the warlock. Haritha, no! With the warlock's distraction, the spell broke, and Rexxar could move again. But he was too late. His devoted wolf companion had shoved the warlock away, but in the process, the orc's hand had touched Haritha's thick pelt. Rexxar stared, horrified, as his friend shriveled before his eyes, the powerful wolf shrinking in upon himself in an instant, and then collapsing, his body turning into dust that the wind carried away.
That feels better.
The warlock remarked, rising to his feet and brushing off his robes. The
soundtrack.
Blood stain remained, but now he moved without injury.
Light in the darkness.
Your pet just saved your life,
he told Rexxar with a nasty grin. Yes, he did, Rexxar replied softly, twirling both axes up and around. But who will save yours? Rexxar stared at his body, panting, then turned to look at the spot where his wolf had died. The rage still roaring through him and thundering in his ears, he knelt and placed his hand, wet with the warlock's blood, on the dust for a moment. You are avenged, my friend, he said softly. And then the dark portal blew up. Now Rexxar and the Warsong clan were left stranded on Azeroth with no way of going back home. They retreated back to their encampment called Stonard to regroup and tend to their wounds. While they were recovering, Chieftain Gromosh Hellscream explained that they would be preparing once again for war. Rexxar cut in, asking, why? As far as they knew, they were the only remnants of the Horde left, and now they were totally abandoned on this new world. They had been betrayed and used by their leaders time and time again, and their homeworld might be totally destroyed. They were fighting on Azeroth to secure a new land to live for their people, but now it was just them, and fighting for their people was the whole purpose of this war, right? Look, the best course of action would be to find a secluded place to live where they would never have to spill a single drop of blood again. At this point, Rexxar was starting to sound like his father, who also demanded a peaceful course of action.
It's only as we grow older do we fully understand what our parents, feel and what do they talk about, and what kind of wisdom that they have on particular subjects. This is what's going on right now, right here with Rexxar, becoming more like his father. They don't care.
But Rexxar was seen as being absolutely ridiculous. Instead of continuing to fight with these dishonorable orcs who just kept clinging to blatant lies for hope, Rexxar would become an outcast once again, wandering the wilds by himself with only the beasts that could be trusted. While Rexxar traveled across the world of Azeroth, he somehow found himself on Kalimdor. How he traveled to a different continent on the other side of the world is never explained. Did he catch a boat? Maybe he's really good at swimming, or did he befriend a dolphin?
Anything is possible.
Who knows? Anyways, he's here now, and while Rexxar is exploring this strange new land, let's talk about the sponsor who helped make large-scale videos like this possible. Displate. Disc plates are high-quality metal posters that you can collect and bring a slice of Azeroth into your home. They have a wide variety of unique Warcraft-themed plates that you can mix and match on your wall with Disc plates' easily installable magnet mounting system that requires no drilling, just wipe, sticker, magnet, and then you're ready to go. With Disc plates, you have the strength to bring the might of the Lich King into your home.
Ravage the living minions.
To the tranquility of the Moonwell. But really, there's something for every Warcraft fan and their wide selection. Not only that, Display also has 1 million officially licensed designs to choose from their nearly limitless library, all of which are printed in the EU and signed by hand by the master of production to ensure their quality. Ditch your basic standard prints and start collecting your passions, and visit my link down below and you'll get an automatic discount on your new Displates on checkout. Thank you to Displate for sponsoring this video. Back to the story of Rexxar.
What a magnificent beast! You are the first civilized being I've met for a long while. You fight because you are scared. I am the same.
You fight because you are scared? If you're scared, why don't you avoid the fighting? You know? I've never heard of someone who is scared but heads towards the fight. Because this is what that's exactly what the bear was doing. You know, the bear could have just avoided the situation, but instead it went straight to Rexxar.
We ought to be friends. I have no others. I knew you'd come around. I will look after you now. Neither of us has to be alone anymore.
Rexxar traveled the untamed wilds with his new companion Misha. But his bear best friend wasn't the only animal Rexxar had befriended. His owl Spirit, his boar Huffer, and his wyvern Lerock joined him in his travels in his many years of solitude. And yet, the savagery of civilization always seemed to find him.
With Misha at my side, we journeyed through the Kalimdor wilds. I was careful to always avoid the cities.
There are more.
Until one day, I had no choice. What is that commotion? A battle?
Come, you Quillbore mongrels, taste the steel of Mogren's axe.
Hold fast, stranger. You shall not stand alone.
They came out of nowhere.
You are badly hurt. Let me handle the rest of them. Nothing like a thrill of the hunt.
This would be a good death, if not for my failure.
Failure?
I was to deliver a crucial report to my chieftain. I have lost my honor.
I will deliver your message. Your honor is not lost.
This is part of Warcraft 3 Reforged, isn't it? Or just Warcraft 3. Yeah, I know people don't really like Reforged. But, you know, I reacted to the storyline, so yeah. This is part of Warcraft 3 Reforged here. I remember this. Yeah.
Seek out the city of Orgrimmar. Find War Chief Thrall. Tell him.
May the winds bear you swiftly to your ancestors, warrior.
Upon entering Orgrimmar, Rexxar realized this horde was not the one he once knew.
Yeah, and the city as well is so developed. in Reforged, it was not like this. They were still starting. They were still building the foundations of the place. But here, it's, you know, well developed. Huh.
Hunter had been living in solitude for 20-some-odd years, and in that time, the Horde had changed drastically. No longer were they the bloodthirsty warmongers Rexxar had detested. Now the Horde only longed for peace and to atone for their past sins. I mean, they literally built their city in a barely inhabitable desert as to not antagonize the Night Elves nearby, and to punish themselves for their past crimes.
A message for you, War Chief. Mogren entrusted me with it before he passed.
I see. You have done us a great...
Stop. Okay, a lot of the voice lines I'm using come from the Book of Heroes Hearthstone Adventure, and for some reason, somehow, Thrall is not voiced by Chris Metzen, which is actually sacrilege since he's the creator of the Warcraft universe and Thrall is his most iconic role, along with Varian, Ragnaros, Nefarian, Zul'jin, Hakar, Scarlet Commander Mograine, Sand Fairy Executioner, and Rexxar in Warcraft 3. You'd think that they could get him in the studio and read a couple of lines since he was able to during Shadowlands when he wasn't working at Blizzard, but now I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. Back to the video.
Please, accept our hospitality here in Durotar.
Only if you'll let me carry my own weight.
At this point in our story, it follows the events of the Warcraft 3 game, which means that the story becomes kind of gamey. And Rexxar does a lot of chores around Durotar. He completes these tasks with his appointed guide named Rokan, and he kills thunder lizards, some harpies, and he meets Chen Stormstout, which is pretty much a joke character. A joke character that would then have an entire expansion built around him a decade later. The letter Mogren had was warning the War Chief that there was a large number of humans forming to the south near Theramore. This was strange since after the previous war, there was an established peace treaty between the Horde and the Alliance. Later, Thrall...
Yeah. Proudmoore's dad is not signatory to that decision.
would get a request from the humans to have a meeting in the middle of nowhere, at night, alone. Obviously, this is suspicious, and Rexxar goes in his place and gets ambushed by humans and he kills them all. Okay, now here's a problem. These soldiers are supposed to be led by Thrall's close friend, Jaina, who also desired peace as much as he did. And yet, she had no idea who is giving her soldiers these orders. Together, Jaina and Rexxar would investigate and find out who was behind these attacks.
Whoa there!
Our future peace hinges on what we find here.
Actually, this is dangerous, you know, teleporting out of nowhere just like that. You know, I mean, imagine you teleport right in front of someone or right on top of someone. You just teleport and you just crash, you know, hit them on the head or something. There should be like a designated area where people who teleport are able to park. You know, if I can say it like that, I don't know, where they just reappear, you know, into existence at a very specific place so that they don't hurt people. Or maybe like this doesn't happen too often, that, you know, security like that is not really needed. But yeah, I mean, that is just dangerous, really.
Peace is always fragile.
We aren't so different. I think our people want the same things. I hope you trust me.
Thrall does. That should be enough.
Surface dwellers are so strange.
The Naga.
Your petty disagreements mean nothing to me. We controlled the world once, and we shall again.
The Naga destroyed our camp.
A human and a half-orc work together? What nonsense. We will reclaim our land.
Shut up! The Naga are gone. But who were the humans attacking us?
I recognize that footman. I think I know what happened here.
Yeah, it's your dad.
Peace is like a dream. Beautiful, ephemeral, unobtainable. The Horde killed my son. My flesh and blood. I will never forgive them. A pity my daughter did not inherit my keen judge of character. Ah, Jaina. I found you at last.
Father, I knew this was your doing. You have to understand. The Horde is no longer our enemy.
So naive, my dear. Step aside. You will never know what it is to defend your home, your loved ones. You abandoned your world to destroy ours.
Shut up!
An extermination is in order.
Rexxar, run!
Savages! Atone for what you did in Stormwind, in Lordaeron!
A duck walked into an apothecary and he said, "Give me some chapstick and put it on my bill."
Thanks to Jaina, I escaped. But war was upon us. And worse, we were outnumbered.
Now the Horde knew who their new enemy exactly was, and an unwanted war was clearly on the horizon. They would need to amass a large number of soldiers if they were going to be victorious in this conflict. And Rexxar helped bolster the Horde's ranks in rather unconventional ways. So what Rexxar did was he traveled to Dustwallow Marsh to defeat a tyrannical warlord of the Stonemaul Ogres, and became their new leader so he could send the ogres in the battle.
Time for the meat grinder! I will break you!
Shut up!
Then he traveled over to the Baron.
Like, he targets the head. He targets the head 100% of the time. Oy.
To help the Tauren chieftain's son, Bane Bloodhoof, who had been captured by the Centaur. Such a favor would convince the Tauren to join them in the upcoming assault.
We have never kidnapped a half-orc, half-ogre before. Do you think we are stupid?
Yes.
Yes.
Bane! Are you alright?
Yes, my friend. I owe everything to you. Whatever you wish, my father will grant to you.
An army is formed.
Then the armies of the Horde amassed at the gates of Theramore. Of course, conflict like this was never the ideal outcome, but Admiral Proudmoore was so driven by spite and revenge that he would not stop until either he or the Horde was dead. Even his daughter Jaina knew that.
Yeah, the poor man, really, there's no other way for him to survive unless the very things that took away one of his jewels on his crown, are dead at his feet. It's the only way for him to go on. It's sad that he thinks this way because he still has another child. He still has Jaina in his life. And yeah, he just can't seem to see that. It's only revenge. Poor guy.
Thrall, Rexxar, I just want you to know that I had no part in this.
Of course not. Still, you know what we must do.
Yes, I will leave you to it.
We must put an end to the Admiral. Only then will the Horde be safe. You are the champion of the Horde. Our victory will come through you, or not at all.
Loktar Ogar! For the Horde!
For the Horde!
For Durotar!
I like that transition. Heading over into Warcraft 3. Yeah, that's cool.
You saved us all, Rexxar. I can never repay you. Will you stay with us?
I belong in the wilds, amidst the beasts and elements of the land. But I will always be there when you need me, brother.
Even after being champion of the Horde, Rexxar still longed for the solitude of the wilds and returned to the nature of Kalimdor. When we find him again is in classic World of Warcraft, where he's wandering around Desolace and is a part of the Onyxia quest chain, which then became non-canon as per the Warcraft comic. Then in the Burning Crusade, he traveled back to Draenor, where his homeworld was now twisted by magic and called the Outlands. Miraculously, the Mok'Nathal clan had survived this radical change in environment, and Rexxar helped his clan by defeating the ogres nearby and their Grand Master, with help from Sablian, an uncorrupted black dragon in the zone who hated ogres as much as he did. The Mok'Nathal clan was appreciative of Rexxar's help in defeating their enemy, except for his father Learok, who still held resentment for his son for deserting them, like, 30 years ago. Rexxar would then have minor appearances in the Legion and Battle for Azeroth expansions, where he suffers the same fate many Warcraft characters do. He's in the story and he's a character players interact with, but his own personal story really isn't progressed at all, and he's more just used as a familiar face and a tool to progress the story that doesn't really involve him personally.
Yeah, well, you know, it's time for others to have their own time in the spotlight, and maybe we'll come back to him. I don't know if it's going to be in Dragonflight or maybe in the next expansion, you know? And yeah.
Isn't necessarily a bad thing, just a consequence of Warcraft's method of storytelling and a ridiculous amount of characters they have to juggle. The question is now, will we see Rexxar again? Rexxar is one of the core characters of Warcraft who has existed for 21 years. Despite this, his story hasn't really progressed much compared to other legacy characters from Warcraft 3, but Rexxar has one of the most underrated stories of a badass hunter who was outcasted from society, fought through numerous historical events, and became a legend in the Warcraft universe. Hey, real quick, if you enjoyed this video, consider checking out Display. Their support helps a lot when making these videos, and if you liked the video, a like and subscribe.
Shut up!
Okay, alright guys, that's it with Warcraft's Mightiest Hunter, made by Platinum WoW. Thank you to James Anderson for requesting that I should react to this video. Yeah, the story of Rexxar is interesting, very surprising. Like, honestly, I didn't know, like, he came from Draenor. You know, I thought he was born on Azeroth. And I thought, you know, that's where he's always been, you know, on Kalimdor, because that's as far as I remember of this character in particular, like on Warcraft 3 Reforged. That's the first time I actually saw him. So yeah, I thought he was also just born on Azeroth, you know, kind of like Thrall, how he was also born on Azeroth. So yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, it's quite surprising to see that he was actually born on Draenor. He belonged to a clan, and you know, he tried to convince his father that, you know, the only way for their clan to survive was for them to work with the Horde. But as you could see, the leadership of the Horde weren't really accepting of people who are half this and half that. It just doesn't work well with them. It's only due to Rexxar's own strength, you know, that he was able to save his clan from annihilation, possible annihilation from the Horde. And you know what? We might see him again in Dragonflight. We might actually see him again in Dragonflight, mainly because the Horde is not the same anymore. The Horde doesn't have tyrannical leaders leading it anymore. Those who want, you know, utter destruction of entire civilizations, or, you know, just going to war for the fun of it. There's no one like that anymore. There's no war chief, essentially, in the Horde anymore. So yeah, he could come back. He could come back and, I don't know, be someone important in the Horde, or just exploring the Dragon Isles like everybody else. It can be very much possible. Yeah. And yeah, you know, his story in terms of him connecting with wildlife more than he does with, you know, regular people in cities or in towns or villages or stuff like that. Like, he's a loner who is far more connected with wildlife, with nature, and that's where he draws his strength. That's where he finds his peace. That's who he is, and that's how he's lived his life, you know, as a hunter in the wild, you know, keeping it very natural, very authentic in a very, you know, hunter kind of way. So yeah, that's his element. That's where he shines best. And yeah, Rexxar can be a leader when he wants to be, but mainly he just wants to be someone who has true freedom, who is not shackled by responsibility, you know, of leadership. So yeah, Rexxar is a cool guy. He's a really, really cool guy, very strong guy. And I like how Platinum WoW, you know, describes, you know, how Rexxar is always targeting for the head. Whenever he's fighting against someone, he throws his axe at their head right here, which is so cool. But yeah, he's a really cool character. But guys, that's it for tonight with Platinum WoW. Remember, if you want to check out the original video as well as Platinum WoW's YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you guys next week Monday. Okay, good night.